Welcome back to the show. Well, following the mass shooting in Orlando, US presidential candidate Donald Trump has slammed America's immigration policy. Take a listen.
The killer, whose name I will not use or ever say, was born in Afghan, of Afghan parents, who immigrated to the United States. His father published support for the Afghan Taliban, a regime which murders those who don't share its radical views, and they murdered plenty. The father even said he was running for president of Afghanistan. The bottom line is that the only reason the killer was in America in the first place was because we allowed his family to come here.
Yeah, well, joining us now, Ben Fordham and Shelly Horton. Good morning to you guys. Just that point there that Donald Trump, Ben, says he was born in Afghan. He was actually born in New York. It's a moot point, but significant.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think it's around the edges a little bit. I mean, yes, he was born an American because he's an American citizen.
Yeah.
However, he's of Afghan heritage, and so I think a lot of people would recognise if they're from Lebanese heritage or Vietnamese heritage or whatever, there's still plenty of Aussies who would call themselves Australian Vietnamese or Australian Lebanese or whatever. So I suppose he's got some Afghan heritage. I do agree with Donald Trump on not mentioning this guy's name. When I sit back and watch the TV news and see the profiles on him, and these are the photographs and these are the social media accounts and this is what he wanted to do, and he set a record for the most amount of people that have been killed in one go. That just makes me think that there are other lunatic kids out there from all different faiths, from all different backgrounds who think, I want to go one better. I don't think that... I know it's not ideal in the news business. We're here to tell people who's who and what's going on, what, when, where, how and why. But I don't want to know that guy's name, and I don't want the world to know that guy's name. And I agree, I won't be saying his name either.
And Shelley, that guy is dead now, so we'll never know absolutely what his motivations were. He was looking for a gay nightclub. But, you know, he pledged allegiance to Islamic State in that 911 call. So we don't know what percentage was the motivation.
And I think this is going to be a major issue because my initial reading of this is more of a gay hate crime than it is an act of terrorism. And I think Trump, by saying he's born an Afghan, is just semantics because it helps Trump's argument. So I think that we need to be really careful that words do hurt, and I completely agree with Ben. Let's not turn him into some guy who is a history maker because, as you said, we're going to have copycats, and I don't want any of that happening.
The father of the killer was against homosexuality as well. So the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, does it?
Look, there is that, but at the same time, I don't have the same views as my father. So, I mean, again, I don't want to twist things just to suit our argument either. So just because his dad may not agree with homosexuality, I mean, the fact that he was saying he was upset by seeing two men kissing and that he had made homophobic comments before, I think is more important than what his dad does and says. And
we can't ignore the fact that he called 911 either in the moments before the attack or during the attack to say, I'm representing Islamic State. And the idea now that, you know, I heard Malcolm Turnbull, our Prime Minister, saying yesterday, it's not established yet whether this is a link to terrorism. Well, I'm sorry, but when you call in to the emergency hotline to let them know you're representing Islamic State, it doesn't matter whether they know you. It didn't matter whether Man Monis had any link to Islamic State. This is the new wave of terrorism. When 9/11 was around, they all joined cells. They all knew each other. Now it's DIY terrorism. All you got to do is think it and do it.
But he certainly worked out who he wanted to kill. If he was going to kill anyone, he wanted to kill
it's
people
a little
who
bit
are gay.
Of a smoke screen. By making that 911 call, he can take away the fact that there was the homophobia was part of it and make it more about ISIS.
And look, I don't really think it matters. Don't think it matters. It's a guy with high-powered weapons who walked in and killed innocent people. Yes, it's a gay hate crime. Yes, it's an attack on freedom. Yes, it's Islamic extremism. It's all of those things. But does it really matter? At the core of the whole thing is if you don't have so many guns in America, it won't be so easy for people to do this damn stuff.
This really plays into the hands of Donald Trump.
Big time.
We're 5 months away from the presidential election. What do you think this will mean for his candidacy?
Well, I think the fact that he used those words very early on in the conversation, Islamic extremism, I think does play to his advantage. And when you have leaders who are so politically correct and so timid that they tiptoe around issues as serious as this, which is innocent people being killed, and a rotten core of people who are part of a faith who decide, no, I'm going to twist it and I'm going to turn it into, I'm going to go and kill as many people as I can. If you ignore that, you open a door for the likes of Trump to walk in and say, hey, I'll say the words, Islamic extremism.
Yeah.
But it's been happening here as well. I mean, we're in the middle of an election campaign, and last night we've got a Family First campaigner from Tasmania, Peter Madden, who sent out a tweet saying, although Orlando is abhorrent, it doesn't change the real and present dangers of gay marriage agenda to Australian children. So there are politicians twisting it every way they can around here, and I think what we need to get back to is it's actually gun control. This is the issue. The issue is that the guy had a semi-automatic.
Although Trump has been using the case of France, where they have very tight gun laws, and of course they had that shocking massacre last November. So guns still can get in, and if you want to do the sort of damage that terrorists do, you can do it.
Yeah, but all Donald Trump is doing is pointing out the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is that there is a small but highly dangerous component of the Islamic faith that want to go around killing people who believe in something other than they do.
Yeah.
If you ignore that, that's your call. But I choose not to ignore it, and I think anyone of sane mind would have to say that's an issue. The Catholic faith had a massive problem in its ranks where it had priests abusing young boys. There was a royal commission to sort that out. The Islamic faith needs to look at the fact that not all of us, but some of us have got a real misunderstanding of what this faith is, and we've got to eradicate that. We've got to get rid of it.
OK, we're going to have to leave it there. Shelley, Ben,
you.
thank
Thanks,
you for that.
Lisa.
Over to you, Silver, for more on that breaking news.